Hello and welcome back to Crouton Cracker Jacks. Today I'm going to show you how to make delicious, crispy fried shrimp. These delicate little morsels of the sea are breaded using the standard 3-step breading process, including using Panko breadcrumbs, which give them a super crispy, crunchy exterior. They're super sweet on the inside, and to boot, they are super easy to make. So without further ado, let me show you how to make them. So obviously for this recipe, you're going to need some shrimp. So I'm just using standard frozen shrimp here. This is 4160 size, which means that you get anywhere between 41 and 60 to a pound. But you want to find shrimp that is A, frozen, and B, that has been deveined. With the shell on is perfectly fine. And I'm going to give these a quick thaw. Basically what that means is I'm going to fill a large bowl with some cold water. I'm going to put my shrimples in there and I'm going to let them sit in this cold water bath for about 10 minutes, which is just enough time to get them thawed out, but it won't be enough time that your shrimples get waterlogged. So just let them sit here for about 10 minutes. And while those are soaking, I'm going to go ahead and get my breading ingredients ready. As with all breading procedures, I'm going to start off with the flour. I've got 1/3 cup of flour here. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of seasoned pepper. I'll put a recipe for the seasoned pepper that I use in the description box below. You just want to mix this together. And this not only seasons your shrimp, because we're not actually going to be seasoning the shrimp, we're going to season the flour that goes onto the shrimp, but the flour is necessary to glue the breading onto the shrimp. So you just want to mix that up, set that off to the side, and then you want to get your wet ingredients ready. And the wet ingredients is just 2 large eggs cracked in a bowl. I add in 1 tablespoon of water. I'm just going to whisk that together. The water helps to break up the whites of the eggs so you don't get any clumps of eggs on your shrimp. So just whisk that up, set it off to the side, and then we can prep our panko. For the panko breadcrumbs, again, another bowl. I'm going to add in about 1.5 cups or so of panko breadcrumbs. And panko breadcrumbs are what give our fried shrimp the super delicate and super crunchy texture. I'm going to season this with about 1/4 teaspoon of seasoned pepper, but these breadcrumbs are different from standard breadcrumbs. You can use regular breadcrumbs if you want to, but panko is what's going to make these extra crispy and extra delicate. If you can get your hands on panko, definitely do so. Now, peeling shrimp may sound like a tedious and arduous process. It really isn't. If you know what to do, it goes by super fast. And all you're going to do is grab your shrimp, and then by the legs, you want to pinch with your thumb and forefinger, and the shell will just slip right off of the shrimp flesh. Now, you want to leave the tail and the last section still attached to the shrimp. That will act as a little handle during the breading process and cooking process, as well as when you eat them, so leave that attached. But here's where I mean you want to get deveined shrimp, because deveined shrimp will already have the shell cut down the back. It will already have the vein taken out of the shrimp, and you can just sit here and shell your shrimp. It makes it super easy. If you can find shrimp that has already been peeled like this with the tail still on, feel free to use those. If you want to use peeled shrimp that don't have tails, you can do that as well. The recipe works the exact same. This is just how I like my fried shrimp, and I'm willing to go through this process. As well, I live as far as you can get from an ocean, so this is the only kind of shrimp I can get. So I use what I can get. So just go through and shell all of your shrimp. And once you get all of your shrimp prepped, we can go ahead and get breading them. Now for the breading process could not be more simple with these. Because I left the tails on, we've got a little handle here. So all you're gonna do is take your little shrimple, using the little handle that you left on, and you're gonna dip them in the flour, and then you're gonna dip them in the egg, and then you're gonna dip them in the breadcrumbs, and then you're gonna put them on a plate. That's all there is to this. And this is what you wanna do 40 times over if you use this size shrimp, and that's how many shrimp you have. Now, once you get them all breaded, it's time to fry them up. If you do not want to fry all of your shrimples at one time, now is the time to freeze them. All you want to do is put them onto a cookie sheet, throw them into the freezer. Once they're frozen solid, put them into a baggie, use them within 6 months or so, and then you can have fried shrimp whenever you want. But I'm going to go ahead and cook all of these now. So I'm going to need to get some vegetable oil ready here. I have got a cast iron skillet over medium-high heat, and I've got about 1 inch or so of vegetable oil in there, and I'm going to bring this up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I cannot stress this enough. You need to have a thermometer when you fry. A, it's for safety, and B, it's also for good food. You need to make sure that you do not heat your oil too hot, and you also need to make sure that it's not too cold. If you fry too cold a temperature, you're going to have greasy food that's not cooked all the way. If it gets too hot, this can catch on fire. Also, if you are new to frying, do not use a shallow pan like I'm doing here. I fry all the time, and for video reasons, it makes it super easy to see what I'm doing when I use a shallow pan. Just use your head when you fry. Once your oil gets up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, you want to give your little shrimples a hot oil bath. And you just want to lay these in gently. You don't want to overcrowd your pan because that will cool down your oil, which will lead to greasy food. So I'm going to only fry in this small skillet about 10 at a time. And you want to stir these around, make sure that they don't stick together. If you need to, keep the thermometer in the oil so you know what the oil is doing, making sure that it's not cooling down too fast or getting too hot. You need to regulate that temperature, regulate the flame on your stove. But yeah, all you're going to do is cook these for between 2 and 2.5 minutes. They will be golden brown when they are done. Now, if you were starting with frozen shrimp, you might have to go to about 3 minutes to make sure that they are cooked all the way through. But again, they will be golden brown when they are done. Now, once your time is up and these are nicely golden brown, you want to remove them onto a wire rack that is lined with paper towels underneath. Give them a place to drain and dry off a little bit, and then you can repeat the process with more batches. But you'll just want to keep going through, and then you can serve them up with some cocktail sauce. Now, I've got a separate video that shows you how to make cocktail sauce. If you want to see that, I will put a link to that down in the description box below. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoy. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, where I post updates every few days. Subscribe for more deliciousness and to keep you up to date on all my latest videos. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.